Hi, this is my video for the Movement Makers Challenge, Losing Momentum. That's how I call it because that's where I have a lot to learn. For me, it's a habit that I picked up recently, like these 6 years. If anything, people would know me prior for using momentum. So I need to switch this around. I'm going to share with you 3 examples of how I lost momentum that still hurt me or make me feel like all on the inside. The factors that played into losing momentum in those 3 examples, and why it's a problem to lose momentum. So, 3 themes. And then the fourth one, probably the most important one, are the 7 steps that you need to take to make sure you will never lose momentum. Okay, let's start with the examples. 3 examples: the book that I wrote, The Dutch Queen, and Evan Carmichael. Yes, you're in this video, Evan. To start with the last, not the least, Evan Carmichael, he sent me a video, several videos. And I saw the videos and like, oh, Evan Carmichael sent me a video. Oh my God, I need to sit down for this. How am I going to respond? Everything needs to be perfect. I need to look perfect. What am I going to say? And then I ended up watching the videos like days after, if not weeks, and not responding at all. Which brings me to the second example and the second factor. The second example is the Queen, the Dutch Queen. I used to have a mailbox. I thought it was fancy, if you have your own company and then the mail arrives at a mailbox at the post office, not at your house, but at a mailbox. But the thing was, I wasn't able to go by every day. And it wasn't necessary to go by every day because my company isn't that big. So I would go every once in a while. And at some point, I didn't go for quite a while. And then when I came at the mailbox, there was this beautiful envelope, this thick, heavy white paper. And when I opened it up, it had this beautiful card inside with gold printed from the Queen, inviting me for lunch. And the date had already passed. I was sick to my stomach. I felt so horrible that I never even responded. I felt so ashamed, like, to receive an invitation from the Queen, a personal invitation, and then not to respond in time to let her know that I couldn't make it. Not responding like shortly after. I just didn't know how to handle this situation. I felt so ashamed. So the first factor was perfection, wanting to be perfect. The second factor was shame. The third factor regards the book that I wrote. That was quite an ordeal to deliver the book. For one, I always had this idea set in my head that I was unable to write a book. That's just way too hard, too difficult, too complicated for me. I admired everyone who wrote a book, like, oh, they did something I will never be able to do. Once I decided to write a book, the journey started on how to. And in a way, the more I knew, the more I started doubting myself. I knew what to write, but how to write a book? I think I'm a fairly good writer, but I just didn't know how to proceed. And I started doubting myself. The longer the process took, the more I started to doubt myself. Like, is anyone going to read this book? Is anyone interested in buying this book? And it took forever to finish the book. Forever is 4 years. I have tons of excuses, but it took 4 years. I definitely lost momentum. Why is it a problem to lose momentum? Well, momentum for me, is flow. Uh, you're riding a wave like you're on a surfboard. I see momentum as the surfboard or as the water, the waves. And losing momentum means you're trying to, whatever it is that you're doing, you're pushing uphill instead of using the momentum, which means you are missing out on opportunities. Why in God's name would you want to miss out on an opportunity? It also makes me feel stupid every time I lose momentum. It causes this pain in my chest. I feel upset. I'm upset with myself and I blame myself. So that's not a good thing. The advantage of using momentum is the synergy you create. It's like things are tying together. Um, you're seeing opportunities that you never knew before. It's using the flow, and it's like the universe is working for you and not against you. So that's why it's a problem for me to lose momentum. So now the meat of the video, 7 tips. The first tip is to think about, is this necessary? Whatever it is you want to do, is it necessary? Does it have to happen? Do you have to do it? Because you might decide that it's not that important and that's what keeping you from using momentum. So that's step 1. Is it necessary? And if it's not necessary, then just delete it. Delete it from your to-do list. If it is necessary, is it necessary that you execute it yourself, or can you delegate it to someone? Maybe that is a solution as well. Okay. Then the second step is to identify the goal. What is it exactly that you want to reach? What is your dot on the horizon, that the mark that you want to reach? Once you have that very clear, what you want to do, why you want to do it, then schedule it. Looking back, especially regarding my book, I never scheduled it. I was like, oh, okay, I might want to finish it by the end of the year. But I didn't schedule it in the months prior, or the weeks, or the days prior. Just this fake notion of it has to be finished then, but no schedule. Also, I didn't specify what I needed to do. Like, if you create a plan, I want to finish by December. I will work on marketing in November. I will write the book in August and September and October. I will do the 3rd chapter in October, the 2nd chapter in September, the 1st chapter in August. Then I need to schedule the research in July. Well, you get the idea. Specify the task, and specify the task on a daily basis. When you specify the tasks on a daily basis, you know what to do that specific day, and most important, you get to check things off. That motivates you, that will give you energy. Because if it's just a task that you need to finish by December, like it was for me, then even if I would spend a day writing, I still didn't feel fulfilled or happy or proud of what I did, because I hadn't finished the book. There was no specific task for that certain day. The 4th tip, minimize the task. The smaller the task, the better. And it might feel like you're not taking it seriously, but if you would schedule, like, I'm working on this book 10 minutes a day, every day, then you're using the idea of progression over perfection. As long as you work on it every day, that is what's going to give you energy, what's going to motivate you. And you'll have 10 minutes a day, every day. You should. If you don't, you have another problem and another project you need to work on. So minimize the task. If you schedule only 10 minutes, chances are you might spend 30 minutes or an hour. But if you know that you've reached your goal when spending 10 minutes on it, you'll be inclined to start up earlier and not procrastinate. Then the sixth reward already. Sixth tip. Sixth tip is the mind map. The mind map. So this is the mind map I created for this video. And why use a mind map? Because all those bits and pieces, ideas that come up when you use momentum, if you can position them in a mind map, then you keep the flow going of the process in your head, and it enables you to structure it correctly. And like now, I take a peek at the mind map and I know what to say in the video. So a mind map works perfect for me. I have a mind map app on my phone now. So everywhere I am, I can add something to the mind map. Every time a great suggestion pops up in my head, I just take out my phone, I add that specific topic to my mind map. Okay, the last tip, already mentioned it, rewards. If the task that I have to do is big, or of course I'll cut it into pieces, but I'll reward myself on a daily basis. Like, okay, I need to spend 10 minutes on writing, and when I did it, I'm going to have a great lunch, or I'm going to watch Dancing with the Stars, or whatever it is that works for you, that you love doing, and that gives you a feeling of happiness and flow when you do it, and you don't want to feel guilty about doing that. Okay, this was my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope to hear from you. Let me know. Bye.